When the storm is needed. The tavern stood in the coastal town of Port Townsend, where gray waters met weathered docks and gulls argued with the wind. Rain tapped softly against the windows, not violent, just persistent, like a conversation that refused to end. Inside, the fire burned steady. The cat stretched luxuriously near the hearth, as he always does. Alex adjusted a lantern so its glow softened the darker corners of the room. The door opened with a sharper sound than usual. A young woman stepped in, cheeks flushed from more than the cold. I watched her for a moment before speaking. My name is Lion. I tend the hearth and see that no cup stays empty for long. I listen when the miles have worn thin your patience, and sometimes I offer stories that help travelers untangle the knots they carry. I gestured to the chair across from me. What name does the storm call you by, traveler? Maris, she said, pushing damp hair back from her face. And I think I might be the storm. Maris sat down heavily. I'm tired of drama, she said. Arguments, emotional explosions, people saying I make everything bigger than it needs to be. The rain outside intensified briefly as if in punctuation. But here's the thing, she added, frustration rising again. Sometimes some things should be bigger. Sometimes if I don't raise my voice, nothing changes. The cat flicked his tail once at the word voice. I nodded slowly. Drama, I said carefully, is often misunderstood. It can be wildfire, or it can be a signal fire. Her expression shifted, curiosity cutting through irritation. And so I told her a story. There was once a quiet coastal village that prided itself on calm waters and calm tempers. They believed raised voices were a sign of weakness. And at the center of the village stood a tall bell tower. Its bell was meant to be rung in times of danger. One year, smoke began rising from a warehouse near the docks. A young watchman saw it first. He hesitated. He did not want to cause panic. He did not want to appear dramatic. So he tried to handle it quietly. But by the time he rang the bell, the fire had spread. Years later, when storms approached or flames sparked, the villagers no longer hesitated. The bell rang loudly and immediately. The village learned something difficult. Silence can preserve peace, but it can also preserve danger. I looked at Maris gently. Noise is not the enemy. Uncontrolled fire is. Alex placed a warm mug before her. So how do I know the difference, Maris asked, between necessary confrontation and needless chaos? Rain streaked down the window in uneven lines. Ask yourself, I replied, is this about protection or performance? She frowned slightly. Necessary drama protects something, I continued. A boundary, a truth, a vulnerable person. It rings the bell so others can see the smoke. And bad drama? She asked quietly. It seeks reaction more than resolution. The fire shifted, casting brief shadows against the wall. My friend, emotion is energy. When something feels unjust, unsafe, or deeply wrong, that energy rises. That rising is not evil, it is information. Maris listened closely. But when emotion becomes identity, I added, we begin to feed the fire instead of directing it. She swallowed. Sometimes I don't know if I'm trying to fix something, she admitted slowly, or if I just want to be heard. The confession softened the space between us. To want to be heard, I said gently, is human. But volume alone does not guarantee understanding. Outside, thunder rolled faintly over the bay. Drama becomes necessary when silence would cost too much. It becomes harmful when it costs more than it protects. The words settled heavily, but not harshly. Maris stared into the fire for a long moment. I think, she said carefully, I've rung the bell for small sparks because I was afraid of being ignored. The cat hopped onto the bench beside her, claiming quiet solidarity. And sometimes, she added, voice steadier now, I stayed silent when I shouldn't have. I nodded. Wisdom is not the absence of emotion, Maris. It is the discipline to ask, what am I protecting right now? She exhaled slowly. I don't want to be the storm, she said. I want to know when to light the fire. A small, knowing smile touched my face. That, I replied, is the beginning of balance. When she rose, the rain had softened into a gentle mist. At the doorway, she paused, listening to the quieter rhythm outside. The storm had not vanished, but it had calmed. She stepped into the Washington night, not as chaos, but as someone learning when to ring the bell. My friend, if you have been told you are too much, pause. Ask yourself what you are trying to protect. If the fire is real, ring the bell. If the smoke is only pride, let the wind carry it away. Balance is not silence, it is intention. The tavern settles again into steady quiet. The rain taps lightly against the windows, no longer demanding attention. Alex leans against the counter. She wasn't wrong to feel it, he says. No, feeling is rarely the mistake. Direction is the mistake. Alex nods thoughtfully. It's strange. People think calm means never raising your voice. True calm, I say softly, knows exactly when to. The cat circles once and lies down near the hearth, tail wrapped neatly. Drama is a force, like wind, like flame. It can warm, it can warn, it can destroy. The difference lies not in its presence, but in its purpose. If tonight stirred something in you, a memory of a conflict, a moment you spoke up, or a time you wish you had, Sit with it gently. You are allowed to protect what matters. Just choose your fire wisely. My friend, the lanterns will remain lit and the fire will be warm, even when the door closes behind you. Return whenever the road feels heavy or when your heart seeks quiet company. Carry what serves you, leave the rest by the hearth, and know that this place and these words will wait patiently for you. Until then, travel gently and let the night watch over you.